Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chart of the Day. And Simon, hope you're well. And we're going to be doing a chart of the day for the 14th and 15th of March 2017. And for everybody that remembers the last chart of the day, yes, that's correct. February did not have that extra day that I added in, but I decided to add it in because it was fun. No, I'm kidding. Thanks very much for pointing that out. I greatly appreciate that. Okay. So everybody's watched your forecasts by now. You've kind of followed a little bit about what's actually taking place. You've seen up until where the full moon was taking place in Virgo. We all got an understanding that the full moon in Virgo was really about the process of gestation. It was the completion cycle that we are basically on at this point in time regarding the nodes. As you can see, the nodes are there, the south node and north node. It's the completion cycle regarding the sun's passage through Pisces, Venus's passage through Pisces. Of course, it's still retrograde, so it will go back for a little bit. And of course, Mars and Venus, they're in a balsamic phase with each other. If you can remember, in the forecasts, there's the teaching on balsamic phase, right? It means that two planets in relationship to each other, they're a completion. And this completion phase that Mars and Venus are in is really, really important, to be honest, in the context of the cycles, especially around Saturn and especially around Pluto, okay? Now, this full moon was bringing into, okay, Virgo, it's about bringing it into the body. All the insights over the last year and a half, everything that you've been working on for the last year and a half has needed to come into the state of pure awareness within yourself, and then the anchoring of it, just like you're here to awaken it in your body. It doesn't matter if you have mental experiences of higher dimensional understandings and so on and so forth. If you're not integrating it into your body as a way of your emotional field, making it relatable and through the physical, you're not doing anything. So it doesn't matter staying in La La Land, okay? So it's a very serious matter. It's a very serious full moon that took place in the sense that we are here to bring consciousness, Neptune, into the physical as a way of not only alchemically transmuting the nature of our DNA, but it is also the process of growth, right? We're here to awaken who we are within inside of ourselves. And we're in a cycle within our lives at this stage, especially in terms of a cosmic connection, in which we get that opportunity to a certain degree. Now, on a more mundane level, these symbols are really just reflecting the chaos that is outside in the world at this stage, right? And for many, 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 many souls, and I want to really be doing a talk on this whenever I get an opportunity to, and it reflects the nature of how to actually emotionally relate to what is going out on the outside, right? We see change happening at such an intense level. How many of us are honestly understanding and processing the change? How many of us are allowing ourselves to recognize that as much as we feel that we have the totality of awareness, that on terms of the outside and how things are manifesting, that on a more emotional and ego level, that in itself is just way too insane to even begin to process. We're very limited in our capacity to absorb as much as our egos and sense of perception of reality can hold. And it can get incredibly overwhelming to consistently keep on exposing yourself to the madness that is there on the outside world as it changes, as the world changes its emotional identification, So on a very deep level, what I'm asking through this chart of the day, and probably what has kind of got me into my soapbox a little bit over here, is that there is an intensity around recognizing that a lot of your attention spent on understanding your own emotional connection and the insights of what your life has been like for the last year and a half is a lot of work. And just bringing that into your physical awareness as a way of allowing the past to be serving your evolutionary progression going forward, in and of itself is so much wisdom being contained in that experience that anything outside of yourself in terms of getting caught up in the drama really just feels as if it's more of a distraction than actual honest growth, okay? So with that full moon taking place, it's got this beautiful trine that's also happening. You've got Jupiter and the moon are on top of each other at this stage. Okay, can you see that the moon and Jupiter, this is the 14th, this chart of the 14th. This is a big deal because once that full moon hit on the north node, well, actually hit on 22 degrees, but once it hit on this area and begins to now move onto Jupiter, like I explained in the forecast, this is the first synchronicity in which there is Jupiter moon connection. They're both squaring Pluto. Okay, that's an intense square at this stage, right? We know that the philosophical nature of our truth and belief systems and our the way that we intellectually and philosophically organize our lives has been and is still under a deep internal mutation from Pluto, right? It's killing off everything that no longer serves you and actually mutating your core belief system on an intense level. And I, for one, am definitely feeling that, especially in my immediate environment in terms of how things are changing for me here. So, my own personal life and that. So this is a big deal. And then, of course, Mercury enters Aries at the same time. It's now the mind enters this new direction. It's like, okay, we're going to start trying to organize our thought processes in a way that allows these new directions to take place. The sense of curiosity, the sense of, okay, let's try something new for the first time. And also being at the same time with Jupiter and the moon making this inconjunct. Can you see? This is called an inconjunct. It's a phasal relationship between two planets in which there's a crisis, and that crisis reflects a need for adjustment. So you can see that there's an adjustment angle here regarding Chiron, Jupiter, and the moon. And these symbols over here talk about the nature of our own inner sense of understanding of ourselves on a more deeper level, but also in terms of what is just physically happening with us on an emotional level. Like, how are we bringing those two together? How are we bringing the non-tangible and the tangible in a way that forms holistic perception of wholeness and balance? So it's a very intense period of time right now, especially around, like I said, with the square that's taking place over here. I mean, this is not, a square that's just simple, especially when it comes to Pluto. So if we kind of have a look at what transpires for us on the 15th, of course, and this is the 15th chart, nothing too spectacular in that sense. The Jupiter is still in opposition to Uranus, so of course there's still the need for freedom and liberation that is trying to reconstruct our values. But at the same time, we're also kind of like in the space of, the needs and expectations of others weighing down on our freedom. And how are we now beginning to create an entirely new evolutionary cycle in which we allow the feeling of purpose and meaning to be more present, and allowing ourselves to actually have this opportunity to be inspired, even if it costs the social structures, the need for rebellion. In other words, are you rebelling against what is supposed to be right, Pluto through Capricorn, versus what you know is right for yourself and gives you joy, as opposed to being kind of like caught up in the expectations that are keeping you limited in your own life at this stage? So, a little bit of rebellion here and there wouldn't be a bad thing at this point in time. And of course, with Mars in Taurus at the stage, in the second, this is a big deal in the sense that Mars is asking us to slow down, just to take it easy for a bit. And I feel that it's kind of ironic, though, because on one end, Mars is like, go, 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 go. And yet Taurus is like, whoa, dude, we need to calm down intensely here. So because Mars, of course, is in Taurus and Venus is in Aries, we have a mutual reception. And because of this mutual reception, the energy really in this chart just always keeps on pinging back to the same place all the time. The ruler of Venus is Mars, the ruler of Mars is Venus, and it's like it just ping-bongs back with each other. So we know that we are on an experience here where we're trying to find new ground that supports our inner sense of needs. And how does that then play out in the outside world relative to the past dynamics that we have held as expectations? So those are my thoughts in terms of the chart of the day. I really hope that resonates with you guys. And don't forget to check out your monthly forecast if you haven't. And other than that, have a fantastic week. Take care. Bye-bye.